Go.
Call meeting to order, Griggs County Commission.
Beat everybody to the punch.
I pledge
allegiance to the flag, United States of America, and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Talking about that, Mark.
Oh.
Yeah, my
I
neighbor.
thought you meant your neighbor.
He's been going for a couple
He
of
was going
days.
too? Yeah.
He's been going for a while. I'm surprised what that whole drill will go through, because, that's Everett's old drill.
Mm-hmm.
Well, he never planted anything before he worked,
Right.
and falls work and whatever. That thing goes through quite a bit. Give me the faulty bottle.
Yeah, I'm sorry.
I think it goes flat after you get them open.
To get it empty.
Call. John.
Here.
Hale. Mark is going to be gone today. Sean.
Here.
Troy's here. Any additions or corrections to the agenda?
Can I get post office boxes added to the agenda, please?
Mhm.
Move to approve the agenda with the addition of post office boxes.
Second.
Motion by Dale, second by Sean to approve the agenda with the addition of post office boxes. Is there any discussion? Any discussion? Any further discussion? Seeing none, we'll proceed to vote. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, same sign. Motion carries. Sorry, we did have a meeting to open those bids.
Will you have another one though next week too?
Is it 1 o'clock?
I think it's 1:30 that they would open them. Should we talk about that too?
Well, we'll just have a special meeting.
Okay.
Is that how you spell Decker? D-E-K-K-E-R?
I checked with Connie. I guess I just got an email about it. We'll just check that.
Where you at?
On the Decker Bridge. Top of
Oh.
84.
Wow.
I didn't know if it was CK or...
Yeah, give me 1 minute. Get that.
I think we need to,
DEKKER.
It is.
I think we kind of need to redo that whole paragraph. So that, I was there and I don't understand what we're talking about. There was discussion on the county would like to be going forward regarding the future Hannaford Road project since Griggs County did not receive travel bids. In the absence of any bids for project, whatever it was, the county commission instructed the engineer to reissue notice for bid with a new completion date. And then you can put the rest of there, they called it for the discussion and the vote. That sound right?
Mm-hmm.
New completion date
And specs.
and gravel spec.
Modification or... We're eliminating the PI, so.
Yeah, I think,
It's an additional gravel.
I think if we just say that we instruct the engineer to put forward an amended call for bids with a with a different completion date. I think
That should suffice.
And then the voting remains the same. Because that is what we voted on, not just the completion date we voted on.
The project
Reletting
changed.
the bid.
There's no date on that first one.
Oh.
So we should vote on the special meeting first, I think.
Yeah. So the censors removed the name of the applicant for the beer and liquor license, so we don't have it.
Say what?
How do we know who got the license?
Did you want me to do that?
Well, I said that the censors removed that.
No, I just didn't put it in.
I understand that.
I can put it in.
No, that's
I think I usually do.
I think open for discussion for a beer and liquor license for Red Willow Resort or something to that notion.
For Fox sakes.
If it gets written down too many times, somebody might put it in the paper wrong.
Yeah, well, that can't be right. It's gotta be this way.
For the discussion on old courthouse, new courthouse, rather than a lack of communication between Griggs County and NDSU, how about a lack of response from NDSU? We were trying pretty hard to communicate. They weren't just getting back to us.
I can see you yelling, but I can't hear you.
Yeah.
Okay, say that again. I found the paragraph now. 'cause that
Lack
was-
of response, not
Lack
lack
of-
of communication.
Okay.
Yeah. It was a one-sided conversation, I think.
Okay. Perfect.
I'll move to approve the first April 26th meeting and dispense with the reading.
With the addition of the date.
Yes.
Is there a second?
Second.
Is there any discussion? Any discussion? Any further discussion? Seeing none, proceed to vote. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, same sign. Carries.
Move to approve the second set of April 26th meeting with, as amended, and dispense with the reading.
Been moved by Sean to accept the minutes of the regular meeting on the 26th as amended. Is there a second to the motion?
I'll second the motion.
Seconded, John. Any discussion? Any discussion? Any further discussion? Seeing none, we'll proceed to vote. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, same sign. Motion carries. Did you all get a chance to take a look at the bills? There was nothing out of the ordinary that I saw in there.
See, there's a voucher for Barnes County.
Correction.
We weren't.
Oh, that's it. I saw that and it didn't even dawn on me. I didn't think we were supposed to use them anymore.
For recommendation from the state's attorney, that was, since they're something in the facility, we're not gonna send any people.
Or maybe that's not what we did. Maybe somebody just went down there and got a blood test or something. No, that wouldn't be. somebody spent 3 days in there.
For only $210?
Looks like it. Booking date 4/19, 20, 21, 22, 4/22 you got out.
Well, that's
70,
that's all the longer they can hold anybody in that facility.
it's only $70 a day.
72 hours.
Yeah. They've been downgraded.
Right.
Right.
Yeah, for the state
William Clemens.
inspected.
Who's that?
No idea.
Where's Jamie at?
He's here, that's all.
I just talked to him outside, yeah.
Yeah. What was the question? I'm sorry.
Well, we sent a prisoner to Barnes County.
Yeah.
Which number does he answer?
Answer, none of them.
The 7401 or the
Yes,
7
no.
789 9841?
Hang on here. There we go. 270-2354.
I don't have that one. You want to send him a text?
That's probably why I won't answer. I can do that.
Here's your sign.
I got his email address.
Here, I'll send you a text.
Ask him if he was aware that we're sending prisoners to Barnes County. I'm pretty sure it was him that told us not to, wasn't it?
Mm-hmm.
Any other questions on the bills?
Motion to approve the bills as presented.
Motion by Dale to approve the bills as presented. Is there a second to the motion?
Second.
Second by Sean. Is there any discussion? Is there any discussion? Is there any further discussion? Seeing none, we'll proceed to vote. John?
Aye.
Sean?
Aye.
Dale?
Aye.
Troy votes aye. Motion carried. Office reports. Hi, Jamie.
You guys have any questions about jail building?
Didn't you recommend that we not go to Barnes County anymore after they got downgraded?
Yeah, and I don't think they have been.
We got a bill from some Bill William Clemens spent 3 days down there last month. You might, you can ask Wes.
I can ask Wes, but they haven't been, I know they haven't been taking anybody down there, so I don't know.
I don't know. I have no idea what the circumstances are. I just saw the bill.
Maybe Clemens. I don't have a case like that, so.
Maybe we shouldn't pay the bill.
Maybe we shouldn't. I can call Wes really quickly, but I don't have any Clemens that we've got cases I'm working on.
Well, it's his voucher, I mean. He signed it.
I'll find out what it's for, but yeah, they haven't been taking anybody.
I didn't think so.
I mean, we instructed him not to.
I think Jamie recommended us not do that.
Yeah,
eh?
they're-
After the downgrade from the inspection, right?
And they haven't been, because if they stay there for more than they can't stay there for more than 2 days or 3 days, I think.
He was there for 3.
So, yeah, I know they have been taking everybody to Jamestown.
Okay.
So I'll find out what the deal is with that guy. That name doesn't ring a bell from anything that I've worked on either.
Well, you'd almost have to be involved if they're gonna be in
And
jail for
that's-
3 days, wouldn't they?
Well, unless it's an old warrant to, I'll just call Wes. I don't know.
He was in there from 4/19 to 4/22.
Okay, I'll call Wes and find out.
Okay, thanks.
Do you want Maddie to hold off on this one?
Probably.
Madison,
Yes,
will you turn that thermostat down a little bit?
yes. What do you want it at?
Just turn it to 60.
60?
Yeah, and then
That's good. It just makes so much noise when it's just kicked in here just a second ago.
Oh,
Unless I have sensitive hearing, I can't hear it.
Huh?
I can't hear nothing.
You can't hear that? Well, you can't hear it now, it's off, because Madison turned it off.
It's all the same to me.
okay.
Reciprocating engines.
Great soul.
Any questions on the monthly office reports?
Well, it seems like this is just talking to the wall, but I think for the 4th time now, I'd like to see the sheriff's daily log, and I'd like to see a vehicle mileage report. I don't know why that is so hard to produce.
I can't answer that, John.
The citizens of Griggs County should be able to have a look at what their money's being spent on. And if you can't show us what the money's being spent on, maybe the money doesn't need to be spent.
That was not reflected in the minutes this time, was it?
What's that?
You had requested that the
I
last,
requested it for, this will be the 4th time.
but is it getting in the minutes?
Mhm.
It
The
is,
beginning of last month,
right,
because the last minutes were the second half of the month, so it
Okay.
wouldn't have been
right,
monthly, yeah.
that's true.
But the time before that, and the time
Yeah.
before that.
The first meeting of the month.
Okay, anything else on office reports?
So I'll request it, I'd like to have the sheriff's daily log, and I'd like to have a vehicle mileage report.
On a monthly basis.
Showing the total miles on vehicles and the mileage since the last reporting.
Would you like just to have Wesley come to the next meeting and discuss it anyway?
I'd like to
Bring
see
a
the
report.
report first.
Right.
You can bring it, doesn't matter to me. The report should speak for themselves,
Right,
or lack of that, such. It would be nice to have a dialogue. But I don't think we can mandate that, so.
okay.
Move to approve the office reports as presented.
The ones that are presented.
I didn't hear you.
The ones that are presented.
We're going to approve the ones we got.
Second.
Moved by Dale, seconded by Sean to approve the monthly office reports that we have been presented. Is there any discussion? Any discussion? Any further discussion? Seeing none, we'll proceed to vote. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, same sign. Motion carried. Oh, did you bring that social service stuff?
Oh, yes, I did.
That bill was someone that got arrested for child support.
Oh,
Child support they can be in contempt of court if they don't pay the child support.
Why did they go to-
He was arrested down in Valley City.
Oh,
how come we got the bill?
It's a Griggs County case.
Ah,
He was arrested down in Valley City. So, the person doesn't pay their court-ordered child support enforcement, it goes after them. They can be found in contempt of court if they find that they willfully don't pay child support. Usually they give them the opportunity to pay for, set up a payment plan and give them 6 months to get that all taken care of, and then they don't go to jail. But if they don't get it taken care of, then the judge just issues a warrant and sends them to jail.
so Wes didn't even
Wes had
know,
nothing
he
to do
didn't
with
even know about it until he got the bill.
Well, he knew that he was down there, but then
Oh.
someone from here would have had to driven down there to transport them from Valley City to Jamestown, so it was only a couple days. So he just
Right.
thought he'd be down there.
No, makes sense, no.
yeah, I mean, yeah, the bill makes sense. The logic of it makes no sense to me at all.
Being arrested for child support.
And then being put in jail for child support, so you can't earn any income to pay the child support they arrested you for.
It's similar. It's similar to a person's driver's license being suspended for child support. That kind of is most people's way of earning income around here. So the child support enforcement has the authority to suspend professional licenses and driver's license and hunting privileges. And hunting privileges, I suppose, is practical, but driver's license and professional licenses isn't very practical if they want people to make money.
Wow.
There's a punishment for speaking. You want to explain yourself, and you explain yourself, and you get punished for speaking.
They're working under the assumption that they have money, they're just not confident.
Or they can hold the Attorney General in contempt for trying to make them break the law.
I mean, it's sometimes our system doesn't think very well.
If you don't break the law, we're gonna hold you in contempt.
So, this agreement dated May 8th between Griggs County and ATP Properties LLC, whose post office address is P.O. Box 231 New Rockford.
What's this about?
Are we on now?
Social Services Building
Oh.
uptown.
Oh, we have an offer on it.
We have an offer of $30,000 payable at closing within 30 days. Seller providing buyer an up-to-date abstract of title. There should be a deed on there too, I would think.
Who's the entity making the proposal?
It's Travis Peterson from New Rockford. He's an attorney up there. He bought Phyllis's practice, I think.
Okay.
And then Dave Overson passed away, so and I think he does taxes too.
Yeah, I
So
think
he
I
ended up with a
saw
whole bunch
he
of tax customers too.
Oh, so now he's willing to buy a building and set up shop, huh?
Right. So he's making the offer on that social services building uptown.
Okay.
So he signed this agreement already. So if you guys are willing to accept that, I guess we should vote on it, and I should sign this thing and be done with that
We were
deal.
willing to do that on the other deal.
Okay.
So
Well, that's why we got that offer, I'm pretty sure, because we accepted something similar earlier.
I'd move we accept the offer and proceed.
Second.
Been moved by Sean, seconded by Dale, that we accept the purchase agreement and earnest money contract for the sale of lots 5, 6, and 7 of block 73, original town site of Cooperstown, which the county now owns. Is there any discussion? Is that building empty?
No, it isn't.
I think there's a few things still in there. But,
So does social services know that this is happening?
no.
Probably
I
not.
think Mary does. I think Travis called Mary because they know each other.
Well, I'm sure they do.
worked with each other and stuff before.
Yeah.
And
Well, we
he's-
use him for stuff too, over in that country. He does some title work and stuff.
He had some questions about the building and stuff, so I put him in contact with Mary. So
Okay.
This is kind of unusual. The government did something that citizens benefit twice on. They get rid of a building and they get money for it they didn't need, and they get services in the community that they didn't have.
Unfortunately,
Mark that down.
the county spent 4 times as much on that building.
Writing the previous wrong.
Is there any further discussion? If not, we'll proceed to vote. John?
Aye.
Dale?
Aye.
Sean?
Aye.
Troy votes aye. Motion carries.
are you gonna tell Stacy or am I?
Now, when that was purchased originally, did it come out of general fund money, or
No,
I think it came out of the social services budget.
Yeah, because they borrowed that money for
Yeah, they borrowed it.
improvements. Yeah,
so where do the proceeds of the sale go to?
they can go back to the general fund.
The social services just paid for the remodel.
Yeah.
The building itself did come out of the general fund.
Oh, it did, no.
Yeah,
Came out of the emergency fund there for a few years, and then it started coming out.
Oh,
of the
that's
general
right.
fund.
because of the
Emergency fund.
mold in the basement of the courthouse.
Mhm.
And then when they sold the temporary offices, and that went against what to pay down some of what they paid on the emergency, on the social services. So that's where it goes, Jamie, back to the general fund. But not to Samantha, she can't remodel the office with her hanging like that.
No.
You can put $5 in the Tootsie Roll fund.
Okay,
That'll get you to noon.
deal.
Or the lollipop fund, or whatever it's called. The little things out in the Kona.
I just emailed Stacy.
Okay. Thank you.
Okay, what time is Olte gonna come, or are they coming?
They didn't get in contact with me.
Oh, you talked to them.
Yeah, and I never told them to come.
Oh,
So maybe they're not going to come today.
okay,
I can get in contact with them and tell them that they can be on next agenda.
okay. New courthouse, old courthouse.
Talk about the post office boxes.
Sure.
Okay. We got word back that we cannot get post office boxes here because there's not a route. And so then
There's post office boxes,
there's none on this street.
there's not, huh?
Mm. And so then we
Can't
got
we
to
make
thinking
a route when we're here then?
it was kind of then that would kind of force everybody on this street to get one, is what they were kind of saying. So they would have, what they told us is no, it wouldn't work.
They wouldn't come in the building anyway. I mean, they do every other town, but
Yeah. What they told us is because there's not a route that we couldn't get them. And so then we got to thinking, if there's not a route, why are we paying for our post office boxes?
that's the way it works.
We should be getting them for free. So now we're back in contact with the post office. They're not answering our phone calls today, so we'll continue to try and get in contact with them of why we're paying for
We
them.
should get paid, back pay for not.
Well, I'll let them know that. But that's,
If you can't have post office boxes unless there's a route, and there's no route, so you can't have post office boxes, that's kind of a hindrance to expansion. So that means, so what do you,
I think that's only in town. It's only in town, right?
This town, yeah.
So if our address was Highway 45, we probably would be on the road because there's mail post office boxes on 45.
well, I mean.
No,
maybe this-
there isn't any on 45, is there?
Maybe there isn't. I thought there was.
It doesn't seem like it doesn't seem like it should be an unsolvable dilemma.
that was the news we got back from
So
them
where did
today.
this information come from? Our local postmaster?
And they had talked to somebody when they were into training or something, and yeah, that's what we got.
Nelson County Courthouse is a little over half a block away from the post office, and we have boxes.
You have a bank of boxes in your entryway.
Why'd you make me walk out there to see if there's post offices on boxes on 45 when you got one right in front of your house?
I was gonna say, I think I'm on 45. I have a I have a box in front of my house. But I wasn't gonna say anything because I'm like,
They'll remove.
I don't know if that's the right
Oh,
road.
can we have them on that end of the building
I think
then?
that's what Jamie was getting at.
Yeah, I mean,
We're on the route with, but maybe let's see what happens when they decide they can't charge a fee for the ones we have.
How many do we have?
A lot.
And if they can't charge a fee, I bet we're gonna have more.
For every office.
What do you got? One social services,
Social
recorder,
services.
auditor,
County agent,
NDSU,
state's
Uh,
attorney, sheriff.
state's attorney, sheriff,
County commissioners.
Connie.
Treasures.
Court probably has one.
Well, I hope the clerk of court and the recorder are the same one.
No, they should be separate.
It's the same person, Sean.
Different offices. Should be two.
So Connie has the abstract for that building.
Mm-hmm.
Who's the abstractor in Griggs County now?
The one from New Rockford.
It is.
I think
I think so.
I've been in contact with them over those other lots. I think that's what it is.
So can you write yourself a note, Sam, to send that abstract to the Griggs County abstractor and get it updated?
Mm-hmm.
Sure, you try that title out in New Rockford.
That's who's doing the Edland Motors.
Well, I haven't had them do anything. That was I should bring that up at this meeting. I guess is that they gave me an estimate for those abstracts. Let's see if I can find it.
Do I just give it to Kelly? Is that how it gets there or not? I send it myself.
Somebody just needs to put it in an envelope and mail it up
Okay.
there with a note in it, asking them to update it, because we're gonna sell the property, and then somebody needs to prepare a deed.
Okay.
I can prepare the deed for it.
Okay.
That
And then-
estimate for the abstract covering the east 70 feet of lot 9 and all lot 10, block 5 would bid for just $750.
Oh, that's nothing. That's not
So you
bad.
want me to have them do that?
Well,
It's gotta be done, doesn't it?
it's not on the agenda. We should put that on the agenda for next meeting.
Future business.
Right, I mean, I don't think we can vote on
I don't think so
the
either.
stuff like that.
Oh, I don't think it'll take them that long. It must not be very.
Well, there mustn't be very many entries if they're only gonna charge $750 for two
Right.
of them.
Don't know if there's any.
Well, it's one abstract for all the property.
Right, but there must not be very many.
I'm guessing
entries.
probably not. I just had them done for myself in Lakota. And there were 251 entries on it.
And this one might very well be just when it went to the town side of Vinton. and that's it.
Could be, but I mean, I've seen some of them that's $1,200 to $1,500 to get them rebuilt.
Right. Lena said that. Well, that land's been in Edmund's name for 7 years. Lena said so.
Okay.
Okay, yeah. If you guys want to remind me, we can do that next meeting. Then I can contact them.
Yeah, for future business, and let's put that on there, and then let's discuss the building itself also. So as long as Jamie's here and it's on the agenda, I'll take engineer, we can talk about basics of that, can't we?
Yeah, if it's on the agenda.
What?
Well, as long as it's on the agenda, we can talk about the basics of the Alteg engineering, just as to what our obligation is to a current engineer and what our options are, and I mean, that's about, so it appears to me like we don't have to have any one set engineer. We can have a group of engineers that we could use for the project, is that correct?
Well, I've been doing some more checking. I actually emailed all the state's attorneys and counties to see what they're doing, and Alteg Engineers was in Nelson County earlier this week, I guess, for the commission meeting up there. And what Chris told me was that from Alteg was that there's counties in the western part of the state that caught on that some of these engineering firms are just using the counties as a gravy train. So they've developed a pool of engineering firms that, the way I understand it, they're all qualified engineers. They all go through the qualification process, but they are able to, since they qualify them all, or a certain amount of them, then they're able to use from that pool of engineers and use a competitive bidding process for the engineers for projects instead of just having one engineering firm selected for that entire year at the county. I think it's a good idea. At least it'll make everybody sharpen their pencil a little bit and be a little competitive.
Well, they have to do the same thing the contractors.
Yeah, and it's stupid that's the only. I understand that you need qualified engineers, but I think it's stupid that there's not an additional qualification.
For price?
With the financial portion of it. So, what he told me was McKenzie County, Williams County, and I believe Ward County are the counties that he knew of that were doing that competitive process. And I've spoken with everybody in government or administration, I think, is in the same position, that they're all kind of upset that they go with the same engineer and they all think they're gouging them. So I'm sure that there are going to be more places that are doing this once they figure out that it can be done. Ramsey County, I know I talked to the state's attorney there, and she was in the same position, the city attorney in Langdon. So I think it's something that if we start doing, I think others will follow.
So would price be the only qualifier, or could it also be job performance, workability with the county commission, benefit to the taxpayer?
I mean, yeah. I mean, if you can, You have to have experience, of course, is the statutory qualifier.
Yeah.
But then from there, you can look at other qualifiers.
I mean, so you could have an initial qualifying pool, and then for each job, it wouldn't necessarily be price. It could be other could be other qualifications besides that.
I think so. You have to have those well documented because you may be sitting in a situation where they could sue the county. But as long as you have
Who's they?
whatever engineer firm that doesn't win. There have been occasions, specifically with contractors that I know of, that someone hasn't chosen the lowest bid in the contractors, and they've had to make sure that it's documented that they're not assured that they're going to perform or be able to get the job done or have the correct equipment or have produced unsatisfactorily in the past. And I think there probably could be some hard feelings and potential suits, but it's defendable if you have that documented situation.
Yeah, you have to have a whole set of guidelines set forth
Right.
before that. I mean, I go through that all the time at
Right.
the federal level. So
But it's doable if
couldn't we spur competition by just selecting an engineer every year and making sure we have more than one candidate there? So the engineering firm that was selected for this for whatever year knows that if they don't perform, they could be replaced the following year.
Oh, absolutely. And I think
And then we wouldn't have to tread so lightly here as far as dotting every I and crossing every T.
yeah, I mean that's the case. I mean, and that's probably been the problem in all these counties with KLJ has been an engineer for everybody for many years, and no one wants to get away from that.
It just seems, and maybe it just seems that workability, the ability of the county commission to work with the engineer is one of the biggest issues. Because otherwise, it almost makes the county commission have some expertise and be able to double check and walking behind everything that you're told, because you don't know exactly if that's in the best interest of the county. And maybe, and I don't think any of it's on purpose, but that's just the nature of the business.
I don't know. I think the best thing to do for the counties would be to hire an actual engineer to work between a couple different counties and not necessarily do the projects, maybe the smaller projects, but someone that has some knowledge and is able to work with the county. I know Grand Forks County, they have a former KLJ engineer that's their road superintendent now, and I know Walsh County's road superintendent is also an engineer.
Well, and I think we talked about that, and I think that's a way, the direction to go, but until we are assured of the financial stream via the prairie dog funds, I don't think you could do that. But I fully believe our road engineer should be our engineer and have it in the same basket, and then we would have what we need. But is it 2023 before those funds become available?
I think it'll be before then. I think that the county bucket is supposed to start filling up, or they project is supposed to be full. I think in July of next year. I think.
Okay.
Our funds are supposed to start trickling the counties.
They were going to appropriate the funds in the individual buckets. They're not ever going to fill everything all at once.
No, one bucket fills.
They were going to prioritize
then
them. I see.
Goes. That's the way it was presented to me. And that was quite some time ago. And I think I'm going out to the association board meeting on Tuesday, and I think I'm going to try to make it out to the wrap up, and I'll probably find out more. But that's what the original talk was last spring, was that they were.
Can you clarify that for us then, so that, and give us an idea? I mean, because they certainly, if they're going to try to distribute these funds and have reserves built in, they certainly have an idea of how many dollars are going to each county then. I mean, they have to if they're going to do it that way.
Yeah, they do. I know from what I heard at the Nelson County Commission, I thought Nelson was going to get like 1.4 million. So
For the biennium?
I think so.
Right. So I mean, if we knew that on budget time, we could, if that funds are coming for next year, we could take an appropriate stance and budget that and get that done. And then we would have our own in-house engineer plus road superintendent and, you know.
I'll if I'm there on Monday, I'll find out, and I'll try to find out on Tuesday and see some time to do that too.
Is that what Nelson County's leading towards also?
Well, they hired a road superintendent. He's young. He's just younger than I am. He was a foreman at Ellenson Drainage.
But he's not an
He's not an engineer. No. I think it kind of came up in Nelson County in a hurry, and I don't think anybody really knew that was going to come.
No, that's all the questions I have.
Okay. Anybody else have any questions? I assume you haven't responded to this lady yet? You want a little help?
Yes, please.
That's what I figured. I mean, she asks some good questions, but our aspirations for the building, the voters' aspirations are that we
To raise it.
find a way to raise it. So with that said, is it on the register? I think it is.
Mm-hmm.
The National Register, yes.
What is it used for now? Nothing.
Okay.
Pigeon house.
Pigeon coop. Do we have a committee working on it? Not really.
Just you guys.
A committee of one, Mark's on it.
And they were inquiring whether we have any resources to pay the graduate student. We probably need some guidance on how much they would take.
That's, I was gonna answer this question with a question. Because she says, are there funds available to bring in an architectural historian or professional historic preservationist?
Do praise and accolades count?
Attaboys.
So I guess what we would need to know is what would need to be available.
Okay.
Then I wonder if we could inquire if they would be able to get out of the State Historical Society what they actually want done.
I can send her that letter too.
You know, because they haven't really told us what they want done. It's pretty ambiguous. It's kind of foolish to pay this graduate student to do some documentation when we don't even know if that's what they want.
But once you let on and put it in writing of what you want done, there's a possibility that it might get done. And so, in order to, if your goal is to never have it done,
Right.
don't give any rules on how to get it done, and there you sit. And then let us flail around and do this, thinking that that's what it takes, and then they say, no, that's not what we want.
Well, until they tell us what it would take, there's not much.
Purpose in this, I agree.
Yeah.
That's why I think we should have Jamie or somebody write them a letter asking the State Historical Society just exactly what they want done in order for us to raise this property. And if they're not willing to supply that, then we don't really have to listen to their guidance. The answer can't be no. I mean, she's already given enough information on that they want something done. Now, the next step, as we've talked about before, they have to identify what they want done.
I'll get a letter sent out next week.
Because you remember in the paper, she said it's never gonna be torn down, and then the next paragraph, she said they have to do,
This, and this.
right? And will that guarantee it? Well, let's see if that, let's have a list, a checklist.
Okay.
So I guess the answer to NDSU would be, as we are in touch with the Historical Society, we will get you a comprehensive list of what needs to be documented.
Hopefully.
And we will.
We will or we won't proceed.
Right.
There's no sense in it then.
Yeah.
What's in there? Have you guys gotten your stuff out of there?
Most of the stuff is out. Yeah, there's some stuff still downstairs. Some books.
Kelly's got all the records out of there?
I think Kelly's got some records still in the vaults.
I have state's attorney stuff in there that
Yeah.
get rid of at some point.
The vaults are pretty full yet.
Yeah.
Last time I was in there, but that was last fall.
Most of everything is over, but I know that there's still a lot of stuff still over there.
Because that stuff's, if there's paper documents, they're gonna go to heck in there.
Hmm. I know that there's a lot of books that are in the basement or whatever that we had met retention, so we didn't need to bring them over. So,
So you need to get them shredded, or?
Destroyed
well,
down.
either the Historical Society wants them, or then they can just.
Oh, they're financial ledgers, you mean?
No, they are
Some of
register books, I think.
There's financial ledgers there too. All the handwritten stuff.
Which historical society wants them?
Here.
We could let them. If it was
Yeah,
the state
it's
one.
whatever they want, then they can
Not
take
the
and
state.
then.
Some of them were those great big hardcover.
Big
Yeah, the big books, yeah.
That are bolted together.
But I think all the treasurers and auditors' records are in those books. We go way back too. All the handwritten
Mhm.
ledgers are there. All the financial stuff. It's a shame to shred all that stuff. I mean, just I can't believe the penmanship on how that stuff is recorded. It's all recorded in ink, and there's nary a mistake in there.
Mhm.
And it's scripted writing. I mean, it is perfect.
Yeah.
I don't know who did that, but someone took great pride in their work. If you tried to do that today, there'd be a bunch of text slang in there, K and LOL and all the rest of it stuff. We lost the map of the English language.
There's
Right.
somewhere where kids can't even hardly read cursive anymore. They're not taught it anymore.
It's like the new theft protection is a manual transmission.
Yeah, or a
And a
help
ri-
wanted sign. No one's breaking in here.
Anything else? Future business?
Just that Binford building and, that I have.
That's what I got.
Abstract for the real estate in Binford.
Do you want the voltage?
All
engineer?
tag engineering?
Yeah,
That'd be nice, if they wanted to come and give us a presentation, that would be good.
I emailed them already and asked them what time would work that day.
Do we need to talk about budgets again?
budgets went out today,
Good.
so there's gonna be nothing until I get stuff back, so.
So we meet again on the 24th.
Yeah.
So,
Harold been getting his?
He'll be here anytime though.
Anytime in the spring or something.
Sometime fall.
Maybe we should put a competitive accounting bidding on future business.
With a time.
I don't think anybody does it cheaper than him.
No.
I'm kind of a fan of the state auditor's office. I think
Oh yeah. The lawmakers aren't
the
though.
rest
are
of
they?
the rest of Bismarck and the legislator isn't, but
Should have a lot less to do than be able to come out and.
Well, they handcuff them, didn't they?
Well, was the state auditor in charge of the meeting minutes and recording the votes and lost all that, or was that,
No, he was the one that
no,
kind of.
Secretary of State.
oh, that's who lost it all?
Yeah, no, he's the one that's done the performance audits to all the state departments, and they don't like that. They don't like being published in the paper that they've done something wrong. He's the one that audited Bergam for his flights last year on state planes instead of taking
Flying to the
flights.
Super Bowl and stuff like that.
No, but I mean, the computers got hacked out there and they lost on the first session, they lost all the vote recording of the votes.
Oh,
They had to go back and vote all that over again because there's no record of it. Or had to go back and vote it over again.
That wouldn't have been the auditor though.
no.
That'd have been ITD.
Is the 24th, is that at 1 o'clock or 2:30 or when is it?
Sorry,
The 24th, is that 2:30 or?
the 24th, we'll do 1:30 for bid openings and then.
Was that what it was advertised at?
Yeah,
Oh,
and then
2:30.
2:30. And then hopefully from there on, we'll just have them all at 2:30 with the bid openings at that.
I don't think we need to do those bid openings in a special meeting. That's a pain in the neck. Why don't we just do them like we used to?
Well, because we advertised it for 1:30.
No, I don't know, but I mean, next time.
Well, next time, of course not. No, of course we
I
don't
don't-
do it. No, we advertised.
Oh, that is a waste of
So we
time.
weren't gonna be here when we advertised it.
Anything else?
We adjourned.
Been moved by Dale that we adjourn. Is there a second to the motion?
Second.
Seconded by Sean. Is there any discussion? Any discussion? Any discussion? Not all in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, same sign. Motion carries. Meeting adjourned. 3:28 PM. Next regular meeting will be here at 1:30 on the 24th.